Everybody, welcome back to Northernlion Plays the Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. Here we are. I just gotta make sure we're in the game so space doesn't mute my microphone. We're off to the races. 4 wins in a row. Not all of them have been smooth and easy and breezy, so I'll take it. It's an interesting start. Great stats, but low HP. XJ, HK, LS, ZN. L season. I hope not. I'm stoked, actually. This is a really, really good start. I mean, our stats are, like, depths worthy. The only thing is, we gotta live long enough to make it count. I'm also stoked because, like, it's been a weird day, but in a truly chaotic 2020 that's been, you know, I was gonna say up and down. Like, on a personal level, it's been pretty good. But on, like, a world level, you know, a lot of news. I'm not going to say bad, because I think some of the bad news is kind of like, I mean, obviously, like, the virus outbreak is bad. But, you know, some of the more recent news is more like, maybe it's the fact that it's happening is what needs to happen so it can be fixed in the future. You know what I mean? So it's strife, but maybe it's strife with that could leave a rejuvenated world in its wake. But who knows, okay? I'm about to talk about hockey, so let's I don't want to make it seem too high and mighty, but in a truly chaotic 2020, the NHL had their draft lottery tonight. If you're not familiar, the draft lottery in sports is basically an event where the worst teams in the league send a representative, and a lottery is played to determine who will pick first in the, and actually the order of everybody's picks in the draft. So it's done in basketball as well. I don't actually know if there's a lottery in baseball. I think there is in football, but I know basketball and hockey are the ones that are like most weighted to be kind of a sweepstakes, because really you might say why not just let the worst team in the league pick first? Well, you know, in principle, if everybody played to win, that would be totally fine, but there was kind of like a rash of situations where the NHL felt like teams, if they knew they weren't that good by like the midway point of the season, would just throw it and like ice a non-competitive lineup, which is, you know, bad for the league in principle. Hold on. So they started doing the draft lottery, and then the draft lottery was originally weighted to make it so the teams at the bottom had like a really, really high percentage chance to win. And then Edmonton won like 4 draft lotteries, or at least moved up into the top 3 in like 4 or 5 draft lotteries over the course of a single decade. So they said, okay, I see how it is. And they changed the rules. So the worst team in the NHL, and I promise for those of you who don't watch sports, it's about to get funny. Just work with me here. I am going to take this. I'm going to try to get a deal with the devil on this floor. The bonus is, if we get a deal with the devil, we might get enough money to buy another item as well. The downside is that both of these are not that good. With 0 HP, I don't really feel comfortable going for either of these, to be honest. Yeah, full stop. Let's see what we get here. In hindsight, I would have rather slightly hurt myself to get enough money to have purchased champion belt. I think I am gonna sack 1 spirit heart to come to this curse room, and we'll see. Okay, now I do want to go to the I want to get Guppy, but maybe this is a blessing in disguise. That seems like way less money than I'm supposed to get from that, but whatever. So anyway, I'll give you some backstory. The Canucks were historically in 2017, 2018, and 2019. The seasons that ended in those years, we were historically like one of the worst 3 teams in the league. One time we were 4th worst, but that's only because Las Vegas was entering the league, so they moved us down 1 more position. And in the lottery, you know, you pin your hopes and dreams on winning one of those high picks. And every single year, we moved down. We never won. We never moved up. We drafted well, which I'm thankful for, but it was always very disappointing. But this year is super weird, because, like, the NHL season's not finished. So there's, like, they're doing a weird little playoff where teams that weren't in the playoffs but were close are going to get a chance to play to be in the playoffs. So everyone was like, how the heck are they going to do the lottery? Normally playoff teams don't apply. Like, they don't get a chance in the lottery. But this year, like, it seems like if you're in, you know, the 10th worst team in the league, you should still have a chance, even though you're also in the playoffs. Don't worry about the minutia of this too much. So they did the lottery, and a team that is going to be in the playoffs won, which is very upsetting if you are on a team that was rooting for the #1 pick. Because, I mean, it's just like kind of a slap in the face. You're like, we sucked, but a team that's pretty good might get the first pick? How is that fair? To which I reply, I agree. But on the other hand, having been a Canucks fan and been screwed by the draft lottery. Hold on, I'm just thinking. I mean, I think we want to go deal with the Angel. We could potato peeler and then take sack alter and try to turn the Meat Boy into something better, but you know what? It is a damage upgrade if we do that. So I'm willing to give it a try, and it was very much not worth it. We could have held on a potato peeler. I mean, that was just, you either do nothing there or you take a chance. And we took a chance, and I'm okay with that. But having been screwed by the NHL system, we're now faced with a situation where the Vancouver Canucks, if they lose their opening round in the playoffs, have like an 8% chance to actually get the first overall pick, which would be truly hilarious. Now, if you are a fan of Ottawa or Detroit or Los Angeles, I feel for you. You might think I'm gloating. I'm being very sympathetic. The worst Canucks year, two teams that were good, New Jersey and Philadelphia, moved from like 10th and 15th to 1st to push us down. So, you know, I completely understand where you're coming from in terms of like it not being fair. But I am at least enjoying the principle of, the potential, I should say, of the unfairness working out in our favor. Whether or not it actually will. So that, you know, just a little bright spot there. And in case you didn't think sports could be confusing enough, even me as a lifelong viewer of the NHL, when I looked at the results and it was like, play-in Team A won the lottery, I was like, alright, let's see where this goes. I don't know. In the screwed up era of 2020, at least we're getting some news stories that are at least amusing as well. So this may be slightly controversial. I think we'll stick with potato peeler. I don't think it's likely to be that useful for us, but getting another 1-level cube of meat, and we threw our last one away for my shadow. Getting another 1-level cube of meat would be pretty sick. I just need 1 penny. Just one simple penny. I don't think we're gonna get there. All right, well, let's just move on then. So that's the story that's been brightening my day today. Hope everybody's doing well out there. It's almost the weekend. I was gonna say it's almost the freaking weekend, baby. I'm about to have me some fun. But I've been watching Surviving R. Kelly, and probably should have known more about the allegations surrounding R. Kelly to begin with. And I'm inclined to say, screw that guy. Let's not quote his music anymore. I will admit, in the past, there have been times with different artists where I've been like, hey, let's separate the art and the artist, you know? John Lennon, very, very abusive to his first wife. Seemed to have grown later in life, became an advocate for peace. And also, I mean, wrote some incredible songs. Not that that's an indication of him as a human being, right? I think it's possible that John Lennon was both a good man and a monster at different points in his life. I can separate the art from the artist to some extent there. Plus, it's not like when I listened to a John Lennon song in 2020, John Lennon himself is personally profiting off of it. It's not like I'm like, screw that guy, he's not getting another dime. You know, it's his estate, and, you know, if anything, they should be the benefactors, I suppose. But R. Kelly is kind of, he's one of those special cases where I think you don't separate the art from the artist. That's some art made by a dude who is a real piece of work. Anyway, dude. this Saturday, or today at 2 a.m. apparently, which I will not be awake for. Dark Season 3. You excited for that? Yes and no. If you haven't been watching Dark, I know I've said this a lot recently, I would really highly recommend it. For a show that's in what to me is a foreign language, it's actually a pretty breezy watch. Like, I know that it's actually not a breezy watch at all, in the sense that you have to pay very close attention to what's happening. Like, I saw a great tweet the other day that was like, Netflix should add a category of shows that you can follow while you're looking at your phone the whole time. Dark does not fit in that category. Dark is a very difficult show to follow. You might need your phone out in order to open like some reference guides or something like that as time goes on. But what I mean by breezy is that, you know, I'm not telling you to watch 3,500 episodes of One Piece, or Isaac for that matter. It's only, I think the first 2 seasons are a total combined of 18 episodes, so you can get through it pretty quickly. I would highly recommend it. It's an interesting show. It's a good show. And I love a show that ends when it's done telling its story. It's really the reason, like, I don't know. Anybody else have, like... I think you could sell me a car more easily than you could sell me on a TV show that nobody knows how long it's going to go for, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like if you are selling me your car, you have a better chance of doing that, and I'll be like, sure, I'll take it. You've convinced me. Than of you being like, you should really get into F is for Family. I've heard it's okay, but at the same time, I don't know. This could be a decade-long commitment. Plus, I always go back to it. Look, at this point, it's water under the bridge. I feel the same way about, like, Game of Thrones Season 8 fans that I do about Dark Souls 2 fans. I think that you're wrong, or at least I disagree with you. And yet, at the same time, I'm highly sympathetic to the fact that it must suck that you can't really enjoy your hobby anymore as much, because anytime anybody talks about it, nobody's like, oh, Game of Thrones was so good. Everybody's like, oof, that's Season 8 though, right? But still, imagine running like a Game of Thrones blog. Some people, like, literally, and this is not fiction, what I'm about to tell you really happened. You know, these entertainment websites had, like, Game of Thrones divisions, essentially. It was such a popular TV show. You know, you would be like, hey, I'm a Game of Thrones writer for Collider, or something like that. So, like, you know, for 5 years, everything's great. And then in, like, 6th year, the season is like, I don't really know about this one. And then they take a year and a half off, but you're like, you know what is good they're taking a year and a half off? So that they can make the best season they possibly can. And then they come back with Game of Thrones Season 8, and you go, ooh. Oof! That's gotta hurt. I feel the utmost sympathy. It's very, you know, it might sound like I'm unsympathetic. It's just like there's not really much else I can do about it. You know what I mean? I'm not in control of those hiring decisions. Can you just pay out? I've given you like 12 cents. Alright, that's an interesting situation you presented to me there. We'll be back. What was going on in this room? It was the D4, huh? It was the D4. I think this is a good D4 situation. But I do think first, you potato peel. And then I think you D4. And then following your D4, you look and you say, oh my god, this run has no business being this good. And you try to reroll this into something a little bit better. I would feel pretty comfortable just dumping the D4 right now. Like, I feel like this is a really, really, really great run. And that's a great example of how to use the D4, you know, the exact situation you're looking for when it comes to using the D4 properly. I just can't imagine, like, you know, making, and I mean, maybe there's a lesson in here about making your whole identity, you know, a media property that's outside of your control. Where are my judgments? My judgments? Must be down here. But, you know, simultaneously, I'm like, man. Oh, didn't go fast enough there. Why do we have purity maybe that made us slow down? Oh, is it? I have no idea why we slowed down. We must have purity or something of the ilk. Come on, come on, come on. Hey! Okay, now we can go back to this. I don't know, man. I'm just gonna let it ride. How does that sound? I'm just gonna do my best. And if you don't pay out, you don't pay out, but the run's still great regardless. I didn't even realize we had a hive mind along with Beelzebub here, which is just fantastic. Okay, you're gonna blow yourself up and me in the process. Much, much appreciated. I think we actually might have... no, we definitely don't have Libra. We have something that makes Dark Prince's crown almost be a stats upgrade. I mean, we have Crown of Light. We have Crown of Light. I should have been the one to fill your crown with light. No, we have Dark Prince's crown. They just have the same icon. Just get me out of here. But yeah, I can't imagine. It's like running a, you know, Resident Evil 1 comes out, and you're like, oh my god. This game's incredible. You set up a blog. Resident Evil 2 comes out. It's a masterpiece. Resident Evil 3 comes out. It's a little different, but I mean, stars, you know? Resident Evil 4 comes out. Oh my god, they don't miss. Resident Evil 5 comes out. I wish I could make a cricket noise. You're like, but that's okay. Okay, everybody misses now and then. Resident Evil 6 comes out. Oof, 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 oof. The blog is in the red line. Resident Evil 7 comes out. Oh, baby. It's a great time to be a Resident Evil blogger. We'll see what happens with Resident Evil 8. Your own Resident Evil. Someone to eat your flesh. Someone, I guess. Reach out and punch face. Something. Look. That was a stretch even for me. I don't want to use the D4 here. I think we're in an amazing position. So anyway, sure, we have Verped, and I can see forever. That's all right. I can see for miles. Let's not get DMCA'd. I think it's really good. You know, at first I thought my poor singing voice was like bad. You know, I thought it was detrimental to me. Now I realize that having such a poor singing voice actually makes my singing DMCA resistant. You know, it really requires someone manually going into the system and being like, he's singing I Can See for Miles by The Who. Get him! No machine learning algorithm would ever spot me. They would be like, this is an animal dying. This is a Lemurian. Is that what, of a lemur? I don't think so. It's a lemur's mating call. That's what I was going for. I don't really want anything. I'll tell you. I'll tell you. I am bizarrely tempted to use the D4. That's how long my resolve lasted. I made it like 2 floors and was like, screw this. We're not killing everything in one hit. That might work. It didn't. But this is also Bookworm. I think we roll. And the whole reason... Oh my god, we got Polyphemus, dude. The whole reason I'm rolling, quite frankly, is because we have 2 Guppy items. So we were already, like, kinda Guppy-esque. Spun. And Ludo, and I have no idea... That looks like it is Ipecac. Okay, so this is, like, pretty scary to me. I have no idea how to aim this son of a gun, but it is, it does appear to be doing an unbelievable amount of damage, which is, you know, that solves a lot of problems in my world. When you're doing a lot of damage, the run can be a little spicier without being too worried about things. So, let's move on. And we will, of course... Oh... We'll check this. This is enough to hopefully get 1 payout, whether it's an item or not. Oh, dude. We already had Spun. But still. I feel like this is, actually one of the... Well, this made me think twice about it. It might not be one of the strongest runs we've ever had. But when you get the right tier effects stacked up here with fruitcake and everything else, it kind of approaches that, I think. Let's hit it again. Yes, mother. Dude, we got we got Monstro's Lung, Bone Heart, Static Tears. Like, we're getting so many interesting runs. Like, this is also very good. Are we really gonna reroll this? I don't know, it feels wrong. Anytime you get Electric Tears, and like Monstro's Lung is a nice one as well, you're like, I don't want to reroll this. It's beautiful. This is what we're playing for. Anyway, I don't know what I'm gonna do this weekend. I feel like, dude, it's been a long week in the gaming industry. You know, we talked about it on Check the Wire this week if you want to go into more detail, but it's been a long week. It's been exhausting. I am due, or at least feel like I could really, I'm not really due, let's not put it that way, but I could use some relaxation. It's one of those weeks where unplugging is going to be, if possible, very nice. It's a privilege to be able to unplug in the first place, I'll admit, but simultaneously it's just like, it's been a long week. Of course, I'm referring to the SpongeBob game coming out, and no, I can't back that up. I will say I thought about doing a Northernlion tries on SpongeBob SquarePants: The Battle for Bikini Bottom, but it's not for me. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm not from the generation of SpongeBob SquarePants, but I would say I was not an avid, or really even at all, a viewer of SpongeBob SquarePants in my life. So, you know what? I'm not going to steal the valor. That's valor that belongs to the SpongeBob community. I thought it would be, it could be a fun video, but then also I was like, 40 bucks. Are you kidding me, man? Alright, I tried. I really, look, you can be mad at me, Demon Judgment, if you want, but I tried. Okay? I gave you all of my HP and more. Thank you, thank you. I've been practicing my acting recently. That's a school of acting where you emphasize the vowels in words. I gave you everything I had and more. And it still wasn't enough for you. We're getting dangerously close to, I know, deep in your heart. I don't want to make fun of that anymore, though, because the more Intervention I watched, the less cool I felt about laughing at funny clips that came from Intervention. And also, apparently, that guy died, so I apologize. My mistake. We're not gonna reroll just yet. Oh, baby. How could we not? I mean, we got bone electric hearts that, I mean, it's good. Let's just put it that way. It's good. So I guess we won't be rerolling. We'll be looking for a guppy item, but no reroll required, like Phil Jacket. Phil Jacket didn't require a Collins. You're right about that, brother. The joke is that Phil Collins didn't require a jacket. Phil Jacket. I don't know who that is. Maybe that's Phil Mickelson at the Masters. Am I right, fellow dads? I mean, did you see his drive off a hole 15 this year? Oh my god. That's how you know I'm a poser. There's definitely no Masters yet this year. For one reason or another. Let me in. Let me in. And that, I mean, dude, if you could just give me the Guppy Dream here. Oh, baby. Oh, dude, did we lose a Bone Heart and get a Tears upgrade? This is not a Guppy item. How did I get here? Anyway, let's not think too much about the weekend. We still got a little bit of the week to get through here. A little bit of Isaac, a little bit of Northernlion tries. You guys think Dan's going on Big Brother? I know this is a weird... I bring it up on Twitch now and then. Actually, quite frequently this week, because it's been nice to have some fun stuff to talk about. But Dan, if you don't know, is Dan Giesling, who is a gentleman, content creator, and streamer extraordinaire, who we do a lot of content together. Team Unity is Dan. Dan is a member of that, I should say. Oh, I'll take it. Speed is actually kind of the essence right now. Nope. Sure. He also, and this is not facetious, I've even lately I've encountered people that are like, I thought the whole Dan being on Big Brother thing was a joke. He doesn't like when people talk about it, but as far as I'm concerned, he's making his own bet on this one. Dan was a contestant on American Big Brother. I know, right? It's weird. 2 times. Wow, 2 times, really? Yeah, and he won once. And then the other time he came in second. And he's also regarded as one of the top 3 players to ever play the game. And when I say that, I don't mean he's the 3rd best. I mean, if you look at, like, players' rankings of the best Big Brother players of all time, Dan is always in the top 3. He's nestled in the 1, 2, or 3 spot. It varies depending on how much the outlets like Monica, but anyway. A little better. We got good enough luck, I think, to justify that. Did they nerf Golden Hearts? What happened there? So, there's been rumors that Dan is going back into the Big Brother house. And until recently, I would have laughed at the rumors. In fact, I did laugh at the rumors. But recently, and he's been playing it up, which is why I'm still torn. Dan, he does like to troll a little bit. Or a lot, really. But there's been like a conspiracy that he's going back on. I feel like a few years ago, if I was like, hey Dan, would you ever go back in the Big Brother house? He'd be like, nah, I did my time. It was fun, but like, I'm moving on to other stuff now. But now, he's like, you know, he's very cagey about his answers. And then he started moving around like his stream schedule and stuff this week, and he canceled a stream on Friday. That was like, Dan never cancels a stream on Friday. What's going on with that? I'm putting it in writing. Today is, and I want to be very clear. I don't know anything about, he won't tell me. I asked, but he won't tell me. If he had, I would not have brought it up. Let's put it that way. But I am putting it in writing or on film. Today is June 26th. I don't think he's going back into the house as a contestant. I think he may be involved in the production in some way. I think maybe he will be in the early episodes as a coach or a presenter or some kind of mentor that's going to have some on-camera stuff that he can't talk about yet. I don't think that he would go back in the house right now. But the fact that I'm even talking about it is hilarious to me. By the way, I had some people be like, NL, how would you feel if Dan went back into the house? Because you'd have to, like, Unity would have to go on, not hiatus, but it would have to be, like, changed for a bit, or you'd have to have a rotating member. And, you know, Check the Wire might have to go on hiatus, or will have to go on hiatus while he's in there. The answer is, I would lose my mind from having so much entertainment that I don't know if I could even handle it. First off, I would support it in a huge way. I'd be like, no, don't go try to win $500,000 and also raise your media profile. Stick around and do our podcast. Now, if he's not going on, I'm happy to still keep doing the podcast. I'm just saying. But then also, I've watched Dan's seasons of Big Brother, at least like the supercuts of them, which are available on YouTube. And it's incredibly entertaining. Especially, I mean, they're great seasons, but also knowing somebody who's on it is like, it raises the entertainment level to 100 out of 10. But then I didn't know him at the time that he was on. To know him at the time that he's on and watch like live would be the entertainment event of my lifetime, without a doubt. I mean, if my gourd still had the capacity for pogs, if I hadn't rapid-fire machine-gunned all the pogs out of my gourd from all the entertainment value we're providing lately, I wouldn't have a gourd left for Daniel to pog into. Phrasing? I feel like we screwed this up by taking Mom's knife. I apologize. We're still gonna crush it, but still. It was fun when the tears looked like bones. Now they don't look like bones. I apologize. But yeah, I would be fully supportive. For both selfless and selfish reasons. I think it would be great for his media profile, obviously. I think it would be great for you know, him financially if he could place in the money. And then secondarily, I as in just watching for entertainment value, I'd lose my mind. At the same time, you know, with his streaming career doing so well and the YouTube stuff taking off and having a young family, I still don't think he's doing it, but anyway, we'll see how this prediction pans out. For now, thanks for watching. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you did, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future, but clicking that like button is the best thing you can do to help put this series in front of people's eyeballs, so I appreciate that. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. See ya.